another crisis that made a lot of headlines recently was the Sudanese crisis. Violence broke out within the Sudanese army and a paramilitary group called called the Rapid Supporting Forces (RSF). Previously, the warring factions were allies who united after a massive people power revolution in 2019 to overthrow longtime Sudanese dictator Omar al-Bashir. They promised a transition to democracy, but instead toppled the country's transitional civilian government in a second coup in 2021. Since then, they have been at odds over plans for a new transition and the integration of RSF into the regular army. Their fight this month That's my new dog. Female dog. You know what I mean. She's just barking a lot. So anyway, since the second coup in 2021, the RSF and regular army have been at odds over plans for new transition and the integration of RSF into regular army. Their fight this month has turned the capital's once quiet residential streets into a disaster zone. Leading up the opposing forces are the Sudanese Army's General Abdel Fattah Burhan and the RSF's General Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo, better known by his nickname Hemedti. Both served under Bashir and played key roles in the counterinsurgency that began in Sudan's Darfur region in 2003. Of course, this conflict has a larger geopolitical background. A picture is circulating about this on Twitter. Sudan Cliff Notes. August 24, 2022. US Ambassador appointed to Sudan following a 25-year lapse. September 28, 2022. US Ambassador warns Sudan against finalizing Russian naval base deal. November 11, 2022. Blinken urges Sudan to consider US support for the rapid formation of a civilian-led transitional government. December 5, 2022. UN brokers framework agreement between Sudan's military leaders and leading pro-democracy parties. December 7, 2022. Blinken threatens travel ban for Sudanese who endanger framework agreement deal. February 12, 2023. Sudan confirms deal for Russian naval base. Key players Lavrov and Burhan. February 16, 2023. Biden admin sends $288 million in humanitarian aid to Sudan. March 9, 2023. Victoria Nuland visits Sudan to discuss democracy. April 8, 2023. Conflict escalates between Sudanese armed forces under General Burhan and paramilitary group RSF under Dagalo. April 22, 2023. US evacuates Sudan. So this is also about Anglo-Saxons trying to stop Russian naval expansion and power projection, which is also why they have hated Russian annexation of Crimea because of Russian warm water port in Sevastopol, Crimea. And also one of the reasons why US supported Osama bin Laden and Mujahideen, the predecessors to Al-Qaeda and Taliban, in Soviet-Afghan war in 1980s. So Sudan is the latest victim of Russian Anglo-Saxon geopolitical games. Many countries have since evacuated their citizens from Sudan, including India, China, many EU nations, Japan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and others. No major headlines from the country after the initial wave of headlines.